Hi guys, let's see a demo of how we can use Ansible to create resources in AWS. I'm going to create a new project here. It will be an empty project and I will name it as Ansible Test and open in this window. Here we will see it's asking for more details we don't want. It's just an empty project and I'll just switch it to project files. Yeah, so we have a folder here. Now I will start creating a folder and files, what Ansible needs. There's a concept of inventory, so I'll create an inventory folder here, and then I'll create another folder called roles. So both are the concepts that Ansible uses. I'll explain it, what it is. Let's see. We see in inventory and roles here. Roles is used to group the tasks that we want to perform, and inventory is used to keep the details of the configuration where we want to do the deployment, like host name and some more details like that. I'm going to create one more file, which is the main file, kind of, which rolls the whole deployment script, and we'll come back to it, what it will contain. Just try to take it as a main file where we will give details of what Ansible has to do. And yeah, let's come to inventory. Inventory is used to create the configuration around where we want to do the deployment, and we give this configuration a name. For example, I'm going to give it a name as AWS here, and I want to run this Ansible in my local host. So this configuration and all these scripts will be executed in localhost. That's why I'm giving the name as localhost. And we have to tell Ansible what kind of connection you want to make with the machine where you want to run it. So it's all local. The other option there could be SSH, but that's not what we want to do now. For the demo, we are just running the scripts in the same machine where I am writing this code. And then Ansible works on top of Python. So we configure what version of interpreter, Python version we want to use, what interpreter we want to use. So in this case, I'm using Python 3 as the version. And yeah, the name of the configuration is AWS. We will see where we will use this name. And because we are running script locally, I just want to explain the other option we could have is we could get under this configuration is the IP address of, for example, if I wanted to run this configuration in some other machine on network, then I could say give the IP, and then this configuration could be SSH, which would mean that which would tell Ansible connect to this machine over SSH and run the scripts. And yeah, and now coming to roles. So roles is a way of grouping tasks, and there is a convention. I create a directory with, for example, I create a directory with the name deploy, and then I create another directory with the name task. We'll see how Ansible will resolve this on and will use it. And let's come back to the main file, and let's start giving the configuration here, and see the relationship of what we have done so far. In this CS stack YAML file, we will first, I'll just give it a name, and of the configuration that we want to use. So host is where we want to run the script, and you see the AWS name from the config file. And roles is deploy. This is the name of the folder that we created. So what this will do is Ansible will look for deploy folder under roles, and then it will try to look for a folder named tasks, and then under tasks it will try to look for main.yaml file. So this is the convention that it uses, and this YAML file will have Ansible configuration, where we will give more details around what module you want to run as part of Ansible. And let's start writing. So what we want to do is we want to create a CloudFormation stack, and then that stack is going to create an S3 bucket. That's our goal of the demo. So let's see how we can do it. So in main.yaml, we'll create a file. For example, I'll create a file saying S3 because that's the stack I want to create. You could name it anything. And here, this is again an Ansible configuration. And in this configuration, we will give details of what kind of CloudFormation commands we want to run. So I'll give the name of the stack of the task as creating CFN stack. CFN is CloudFormation, and this attribute CloudFormation will tell Ansible to use CloudFormation module that it has, and underneath it will use AWS CLI to create the script, and it will take certain parameters that we give. For example, in this case, I'm giving the name of the stack and then what template CloudFormation template we want to execute as part of this module. I'll come back to it. Let's keep it blank for now. And yeah, and there are a few more things like whatever is the output of this CloudFormation task. I'm registering it to a variable called docs. This is how you register in Ansible. And then once you register it, you can use it later. So there's another task or module you can say called debug. I'll just give it a name, and then I will use debug, which takes configuration of a variable name that I want to take the data from and out to the output. And I have, as you have seen, I've already registered with the name block, so I'm using that variable name here. So now once you have this configuration up, what is missing is the template, and we need to now create the template somewhere and then pass it on here as a parameter. So let's create the CloudFormation template. In this case, we are going to create a template where we will let's create a directory called files, and then I will give I'll create a CloudFormation template with the name S3, and I'll quickly change it. Description, I can say it's maybe just S3 stack, and then it's just a string. Name, I'll change it to main bucket that I want to create, S3, and then bucket. And once we change it, we need to give a name to the bucket. I'll say LH GB test, and then now I have a CloudFormation template that creates an S3 bucket, and all I need to do is just give the path of this template here. And because roles is the main directory from where we can give a path, relative path. So roles slash deploy, and then files and s3.yaml. So that's the configuration what we want to give to Ansible, and ask Ansible to run CloudFormation and create the stack. So let's see. Before this, what we have done is we have created CloudFormation script, we have created S3 script, but we have still not created one more important thing, that is what will main file do. Main file will include the module file that we have created with the name S3 and something called tags. I'll come back to it and explain what tags is later. So this will, and now we see how it is all tied up. We'll just run the command. We'll see the command that we will use to run this playbook. The command is Ansible Playbook with configuration. My inventory is dev, and then this is the CloudFormation stacks YAML. That's the main file, and then I just run this command. And here we go, Ansible starts executing the playbook, and it shows that it is creating a CloudFormation stack. This is the description that we gave. If we come back here, we will see there is a stack created, and then we should be seeing the S3 bucket as well. If we switch to buckets, we'll see, there you go. We have a bucket created, and that's it. That's the way you create CloudFormation stack using Ansible. If you see, we give the debug task, which I was showing you, and it is printing all the output here. And now to do the cleanup of this whole stack, the way we do the cleanup in Ansible is you go to the stack file, and under CloudFormation module you say state, and you say absent, and then rerun the whole command again. Once you run the command again, CloudFormation will try to delete the stack, and there you go. Don't have the stack anymore, and we should see the delete in progress, and then stack is gone, and the bucket is gone. So yeah, the stack is deleted. So that's the way. And yeah, I was talking about the tags. So let's come back to the configuration here. If you see main, yeah, here in the scenario where we have multiple, the stacks. For example, one stack is the creation of S3, then other is creation of ECS, where we have a CSYAML, and then I name it as ECS. Now, as part of Ansible automation, I don't want to run. I just want to run ECS. Then I'll give tag as ECS. This will run only the ECS stack and exclude the S3 stack that is mentioned on top. That's the use of tags. And yeah, I hope now it's pretty much clear why we are using tags here. Yeah,